he's not being completely honest in the statement number one, okay? The official release from 21 says that his board removed him, okay? CEOs don't just resign, they disagree with the board, and the board reigns supreme. He knows that. Their stock's down, what, 90% since it launched, I think? Him and the Lutnik relationship, Walker, is a troubling thing to me. For him to go around saying, like, Epstein's banker, love the fire, you're right, he is a firebrand. But then he's doing business with, another guy, maybe the most other noteworthy guy in those emails.
All right, gentlemen, I want to start off before we get into things with just a little bit of straight out of Maller's mouth in regards to him stepping down from 21. This was just the other day. I'll speed it up a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but we'll hear a little bit of his reasoning, and then we'll chat about it. Again, not the only one having trouble in the Treasury space. Here we go.
Hey everyone, I have decided to step down as the CEO of 21 Capital. I wanted to tell you that myself in my own words because you deserve to hear it from me directly. When I helped start 21, I thought we had an opportunity to build something very specific. Not only a company built on Bitcoin, not only a company built with Bitcoin on its balance sheet, but also a company with Bitcoin businesses producing cash flow built alongside of it. That was the vision that I believed in. That is still the vision that I believe in. However, over time, it became clear that the board and I did not agree on the path toward building for that vision. Not in bad faith, not because anyone was wrong. The people involved in 21 are immensely talented and committed to what they believe. But sometimes people can look at the same opportunity and arrive at different conclusions as to how to build it. And that's okay. But something had to change. And ultimately, I made the decision to step down as the CEO and exit myself from the business.
So I'll stop it there, but I did want to bring up this tweet from Simon Dixon. He's saying, Jack met the financial industrial complex. The FIC wrapped Jack into a security. I explained publicly what that meant. Jack publicly disagreed with me. Now Jack has walked away from the FIC. More should do the same. Well done, Jack. Howard Lutnick, nice try.
Lucky Lutnick.
Yeah, so I'll get to the other troubles in and around the Treasury space in a moment, but I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on Jack stepping down. Was this the right move? Is it too little, too late? General.
Listen. He's not being completely honest in the statement number one. Okay, the official release from 21 says that his board removed him. Okay, they don't phrase it quite that way, but that's how removing a CEO works. CEOs don't just resign; they disagree with the board, and the board reigns supreme. He knows that. If you work on a nonprofit board, you work on a corporate board, whatever, like that's how CEOs are removed. They don't just leave, they are removed by their board, number one. Number two, the other clip you should have played is him talking about how everyone should be buying 21. He's going down with the ship. He's going to be the CEO till the day he dies. Well, their stock's down, what, 90% since it launched? I think, something like that. 50% over the last little while. I'm a critic of Maller's. I hope that he gets back to what he does well, which is Strike. He did a great job with Strike. It's a quality exchange. And he's had a lot of quality, I think, ideas that maybe he just got carried away and stretched thin or whatever, but he couldn't quite deliver on, dating back to the Miami conference, years and years ago at this point. It's not something that anyone should necessarily hold against him, but it is time as a businessman now. He's in his early 30s, I believe. As a businessman now, it's not about long shots on stages and talking about Jeffrey Epstein's banker. There is a time for that. But when it comes to delivering on quality products and being the visionary that, to be honest, he has sold himself as over the last, almost decade now, it's time to start showing up, man. Maybe he's getting married in a little while. He'll take some time off, I think, and decide what's next for him. One other thing I will point out, and I don't know what this means, but if you look across the space at guys who are, big public company players or big exchange players, or, guys who are, even in Jack's shoes, I think he may be a little bit of both, if not quite the public company player, but, rubbing shoulders with Lutnick. The thing that I think you have to ask yourself if you want to know if Jack is as competent an operator as we all thought or think is why hasn't he been tapped for a bunch of other roles the same way a lot of these other guys have? Whether it's committee roles at the White House, whether it's roles in other businesses, whether it's policy positions or policy input, doesn't seem to get asked any of this stuff. And I don't know if that's because he's saying no. Could be. I'll speculate and say that that's probably not why. But he does have to start delivering, I think. And I know you guys may not feel the same, but I really do think that he's got some promise, but that promise so far has gone largely unfulfilled, in my opinion.
No, fair enough, Joey. I want to jump in there because I hope this is a start of a new era of Jack, almost a return to form, a return to the Jack of the old years.
It'd be great.
I would be so wonderful because one of the things that jumped out at me, one, he said something along the lines of "no one is wrong." Bullshit. The reason that you would have got let go from the board that you left the board is because you thought they were wrong. You thought they were wrong, that you became a pain in their ass. And I hope to God that was the case. The other thing I want to talk about is we always talk about, maybe hitting that physiognomy, appearance from time to time. I don't know about you guys, but that looked like a healthier Jack to me. I've seen some interviews of him.
What happened to shredded? What happened to shredded Jack at the NASCAR track with that Playboy bunny or whatever? Like, where's that Jack? What happened to that?
I want
like,
that's what Jack we need. Back. And it looks like that guy's reemerging. He's got the wedding on the horizon. He's leaving Wall Street. He's taking that jersey off, to steal an analogy that Brandon would probably come up with. He's putting back on the Bitcoin jersey from the looks of things. He's going to focus on it. I hope that this is everything that I want it to be, which it might not be. That's him getting rid of all that bullshit and going back to the mission at large. I want to see Jack Mallers with Jack Dorsey and Francis Pouliot on a beach in Costa Rica, planning how to take down the state and end this fiat reign once and for all. He's such a firecracker. And the steak. Enjoy a steak. He's such a firecracker and was a wonderful gem in the space. I think he lost his way. I'm hoping that this is almost like when we had Jack Dorsey on Tim Pool, and I felt like it was the beginning of his redemption arc, getting away from what Twitter had become, getting away from the Twitter board and all that bullshit. I hope this is Jack unleashed, that he's going to get married, he's going to knock up his beautiful wife, he's going to get shredded, and he's going to be out there just fucking destroying the enemies of Bitcoin. Walker, your thoughts?
I like Jack. I think the dude has good vibes, just at a basic level. I also think, like, we all know, well, maybe not all of us, you should know, as the CEO of a publicly traded company, you're kind of handicapped. Like, you cannot say what you think. This is Dorsey too. Like, look where people put their time and what their actions are. Because if they're the CEO of a publicly traded company, now, you could say like, oh, well, fuck it. Like, just do whatever you want. But it's like, well, you can get rat fucked for that kind of stuff. Like, you actually have to be careful as a publicly traded company's CEO. I think that probably, Jack got in, maybe didn't like the direction things were going. At least that's what he said. I'll take him at his word. It's really easy to nitpick stuff too. It's really easy to nitpick the man in the arena. It's really easy to nitpick the guy who's actually out there doing stuff. And it's a lot easier to sit in the sidelines, be the armchair quarterback, and say, well, look, you said you were going to do this, but then it didn't work out. It's like, yeah, that's fucking business, man. That's anyone who has done any sort of business at any level knows that there are things you think are going to work out and they don't, and it fucking sucks. But it's a learning experience every time. Jack's still young. Like, I'm the youngest one here, and he's younger than me. Like, the dude's done a lot for his short years. I think he's been an incredible advocate for Bitcoin. Why hasn't he been, to Joey's point, why hasn't he been tapped for certain roles? Maybe it's because he calls the most powerful banker in the country, a pedophile's banker. Like, maybe that's why. Like, maybe that could be a reason why he hasn't been tapped for certain roles, because he's not PC enough, right? And I don't know. I like the guy. I get a good vibe from the guy. People may disagree. This is just like gut feeling. I think Jack Mallers is good for Bitcoin. I think Strike's a cool company. I think that he's still very much early in his journey because he's very early in his life. Congratulations on him getting married. A good woman can make a good man great, I think, as well.
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
Mine's still trying, but one of these days. But I don't know. I think this is a bullish development ultimately, because Jack has been consistently one of the most, like, he's a firebrand guy that they'll actually put on national TV to talk to boomers. Like, that's a powerful thing. Like, he will go on a mainstream, whatever, cable TV news program and say Jeffrey Epstein's banker, Jamie Dimon. Like, no one else is doing that. Like, he did that. You know what I mean? Nobody else does that because everybody else treads the line because nobody else wants to close the doors. Nobody else wants to be the one that's like, oh, I'm, I don't want to be too, aggressive because I want to, you never know what opportunities might arise later. Somebody who has already made a lot of money has a lot more optionality and can speak more freely than somebody who has not. I don't know. I'm bullish on Jack.
Where do you come down
for
to
you, Walker?
like him and the Lutnik relationship, Walker, is a troubling thing to me. For him to go around saying like Epstein's banker, love the fire. You're right. He is a firebrand. But then he's doing business with, another guy, maybe the most other noteworthy guy in those emails or whatever. Like they're visiting each other for lunch on the island. Like that's the thing. If Bitcoiners spent more time thinking about, like maybe not thinking about, but trying to hold to account some of the heroes instead of like fighting each other over BIP 110. Okay, for example, like I'm sure Jack would have an opinion on whether or not he should have been in business with Lutnik. And so I want to know now, when we say return to old Jack,
chicken too tasty.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Yeah,
Chicken's too tasty. Yeah. So old Jack would get on stage, go to a conference, go to do his podcast, his mailbag. You don't think he's getting that question in his mailbag and just ignoring it? Because he doesn't have to ignore it now. And I hope you're right, Walker. And I actually think that he's got it in him. 100% he's got it in him. I want to see it back out. That's what I want to see.
I think every human's got it in them. Like it's all inside. It's inside of each man. Walker, go ahead. You got to say something?
A quick clarification. I just double checked. 21 went public on December 9th, 2025. And let's see. Epstein files, like the major dump was January 30th, 2026.
Okay.
So
didn't know maybe. Is that the story? Yeah.
Would have
Did
known
you?
less maybe. Yeah.
Did any of us
could
know?
have. No, we didn't. We didn't for sure.
How could we have, right? So like, I'm just throwing that out there. Sorry to interrupt, Brandon, but this stuff is important. Like,
it's a good point.
It is. Yep. People forget dates. People forget when stuff happened. It's hard. Time moves weird in Bitcoin. They went public, which means all those discussions were happening over a year before that, right? And then they go public, and then like a month later, this stuff comes out. I
could have been part of the reason.
Didn't love seeing that. Like
Definitely didn't.
Yeah.
Reputation, right? I mean, it's at the end of the day. I remember a couple of years ago, I know many Bitcoiners in the space. I'm sure many of the fellows on stage here and many people in the chat. I remember a year ago, I was on stage somewhere and someone said, don't you get sick of making content? Don't you get sick of doing this stuff? And I said, the only thing that drives me is getting to the gate someday and the good Lord saying to me, hey, you had something on your mind. You had freedom. You had it right there and you didn't share it with other people. I gave you this gift. I gave you this and you didn't share it with other people. That's the only thing that keeps me going. Otherwise, I'd be in a field. I'd be in a farm somewhere, pissing away all of you guys, and all the chat, everyone. I wouldn't be around. That's the only thing that drives me. And so it's good to see that Jack maybe is back on that chain as well. Where are the products at the end of the day? Where is it? We talked about this as strategy with all these companies. I know with Lynn, we're going to talk about Mark Moss, all this stuff. Where the hell are the products? Where are the services? Where is all this? Running a treasury strategy, great. You're timing the market at the end of the day. You're banking on that. I get it from a Bitcoiner perspective. I understand you have conviction. That's wonderful. But where does the rubber meet the road? We need more tea at the end of the day. We joke about this stuff. And we he. We need more fucking tea. It's just retarded. Like where's Dylan LeClaire out here memeing this shit out of people and bending them over backwards? But the chicken too tasty, the fiat too tasty at the end of the day. And this is when you're in the fiat game and you are started from a good perspective, but the fiat is there and you keep rationalizing. We're rationalizing creatures. I am just as much as the next guy. We rationalize to ourselves, this is a good. I'm going the right way. I'm doing it for the right reason. And I think there's a lot of people in Bitcoin that they've conflated things and they persuaded themselves and rationalized that they are on the right side of history at the end of the day. And the chicken is just too tasty. And that'll be seen. Now I said to the boys in the back chat, again, I'll take the other side that, hey, I would love, at this point, I'm not going to lie, I would love to see BIP 110 succeed just to see the crash outs from most of society, just to see Sailor crash out. I would love it. I would love it. I mean, at this point in Bitcoin, I would love to see the biggest players getting in and saying, I'm against it. I would love to see that. That would be the most Bitcoiner thing there is. Not necessarily the BIP or not. It would just be, are the biggest people going to put their foot in their mouth? That to me would be interesting.
Maximum fuck you energy. Yeah,
oh, it is because this is the thing. At the end of the day,
look like
people don't. This is the thing. It goes back to there were 70 people at Lexington Green, 70 men that said, "Fuck you, British. You're not going to come take our shit." 70 people. 70 out of 3 million people. That's it. And so that to me is what's interesting. Not like, oh, what is consensus, or like what is most of society doing, and the herd, where's the herd going? That's not interesting to me. I want to know what the pricks are doing. I want to know what the badasses are doing. And I don't know which side that is necessarily. I'm not saying I do or I don't. That's what's interesting to me at the end of the day. And I've had extended family. I've had people tell me, I don't want Bitcoin to succeed because I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to do it just because I don't want you to be rich. I don't want you to be wealthy. I mean, that's how far out in left field people are. Like it's going to take time. There's no amount of shortcuts. There's no amount of BIPs or protocols. There's no amount of Michael Saylors or Lynn Alden treasury companies or Jack Mallers. There's no amount of this shit that's going to like silver bullet people into like, oh, we got 10% adoption in the world. Oh, we got 50% adoption. It's pain mixed with time. That is it. And that's the thing that to me is the most interesting of all this. We're not going to force other people's hand. You can lead people to water, but you can't make them drink at the end of the day. So we're on one, boys. Ben?